On September 11, 2012, Islamic terrorists launched an attack against the United States consulate in Benghazi, Libya, killing Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 other Americans.
We've seen rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video that we had nothing to do with.
It was a crude and disgusting video. It sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world. Now, I have made it clear that the United States government had nothing to do with this video.
Part of this is we now have an email of her sending an email to her daughter Chelsea saying, blaming terror within hours of the attack, mentioning terror. Looks like a terror attack to me, to us, yada, yada, yada. And then after that, stands up in front of the draped caskets and says, it's the video, blames the video.
On the night of the attacks in Benghazi, you sent an email to your daughter Chelsea saying that Al-Qaeda lie group was responsible for the killing of the Americans. However, some of the families claim that you lied to them. Secretary Clinton, did you lie to them?
If there's no evidence for a video-inspired protest, then where'd the false narrative start? Started with you, Madam Secretary. At 10:08, with no evidence. At 10:08, before the attack is over. At 10:08, when Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty are still on the roof of the annex fighting for their lives, the official statement of the State Department blames a video. You tell the American people one thing, you tell your family an entirely different story. We know, not we think, not it might be, we know the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the film. It was a planned attack, not a protest.
We were misled that there was supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easily ascertained that that was not the fact. And the American people could have known that within days, and they didn't know that.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
The family stories remain consistent while Hillary Clinton's do not. And even if she testified for 11 hours, if she's expecting now, Greg, for us to believe her over people who have been consistent in their stories for 4 years and what she told them.
She knows that she knew what happened that day and she wasn't truthful.
What she is asking us to do now is to believe that her news story is the correct story, even though we have it on tape what she's saying. We have 4 of the victims' families saying exactly what they heard her tell them, which is, Eric, they say, I'll let you get in here, that it will be dedicated to making sure that they make sure that the video maker pays a price.
The family members, as you know, say you told them it was by a filmmaker, you'd go after the filmmaker.
She said, we're going to have that person responsible for the video put in jail.
Saying that she blamed the attack on the video.
Every non-Muslim is an infidel. Their lands, their women, their children are our spoils.
Nikula, the man that made the video, is a very interesting man. He is an Egyptian Coptic. He came to the United States because he was escaping from Islamic terrorism. His family and friends, as Coptic Egyptians, knew what it was like to live under Islam. So what he decided to do is to exercise his First Amendment rights when he came to the United States, and that is make a video and tell the world what Islam was really like. The video that he made actually was very substandard in quality, but it was his right to be able to tell the world what he thought, his First Amendment rights. My name's Pat Matriciano. In the 45 years I've been involved in the motion picture business, I've never seen a story quite like this. It's a story about Benghazi. It's a story about the lies of Hillary Clinton and that video that supposedly caused it, that has put a number of families on ISIS death list. I met with a spokesperson on this video. His name is Steve. He went on 100 missions in Vietnam. He went in as a private, came out 9 years later as a captain, highly involved in intelligence and how to gain intel from the enemy.
Nikula, a.k.a.
Mark Youssef, who made the video Innocence of Muslims, which was used as a deflection device by Obama and Hillary. He'd been a citizen of the United States for over 8 years. He never had a trial. He was never charged with a crime. They grabbed him out of his home in Southern California, put a hood over his head. They secreted him out and put him into solitary confinement for 8 months with no trial and no charge. And here's an American citizen who's denied all of his Bill of Rights, habeas corpus, all these other things, without a trial, without charges, just thrown in jail. And Nakula had nothing at all to do with the death of the ambassador. He never had a trial. He was never charged with a crime. They grabbed him out of his home in Southern California, put a hood over his head. He never had a trial. He was never charged with a crime. They grabbed him out of his home in Southern California. He was never charged with a crime.
This man, Nakula, who made the video, was an Egyptian who had migrated to the United States legally and had become an American citizen. And he felt that he had First Amendment rights, the right of freedom of speech. The reason that he did this video was because he wanted the world to know that Islam was not a peaceful religion, because he had experienced persecution from the Islamic Brotherhood and other organizations. And he wanted the world to know. And so what happens, he puts out this video, and Hillary sees that this is an opportunity to blame somebody else, to cover up what they were really doing and their ineptness.
Nakula's life has been completely destroyed through the actions of Hillary Clinton. He's very concerned that he'll either be murdered by ISIS or Al-Qaeda in California, or that Hillary will have him arrested again and thrown into jail. Nakula is so terrified that we're not going to put him on the camera. He's just too terrified. He's absolutely terrified of this administration. He's an American citizen. He's an American citizen. He's an American citizen, and he's been treated this bad. Several times, Nakula or Mark has tried to get his story out to the media, but he's restrained by his probation officer.
When I met Nakula, I met him under some very unusual circumstances. I could tell he was visibly scared. He was terrified because he is on the ISIS death list. He believed that if Hillary Clinton was the next president, and he believes she will be the next president, that his life will be in great jeopardy if he speaks to the media. So he's terrified. His First Amendment rights have been effectively taken away by Hillary Clinton, the champion of the people.
When Hillary and Obama blamed myself and my pal for Benghazi, and the death threats started pouring in against myself, we're innocent people, but I recognized immediately that Hillary and Obama had put my wife and my whole family, including my son, into huge jeopardy, so I went to get my concealed weapon permit.
When Steve was accused of being a part of the film that was accused of causing the Benghazi incident, our phones were flooded with reporters. Our office was filled with reporters, one after another. How does it feel to be responsible for the death of all those people in Benghazi, as if he was the one that caused their deaths, instead of the government that refused to let our soldiers go in and protect the Benghazi ambassador, who was getting attacked by the people that supposedly were hired to protect him. Because of what Hillary Clinton did in accusing my husband of causing the Benghazi incident due to the film that was released, but it has put our whole entire family on the hit list by ISIS. Now, instead of going through a normal day like everybody else does, everywhere I go, I have to carry a gun for self-defense. I have to be looking in my rear view mirror to see if I'm being followed. I don't take the same way home every time because of the constant threat that at any time a car could drive up next to me and shoot me to death. A bomb could be put under my car. What Hillary Clinton has done by her lying has dramatically changed our family's life. Hillary Clinton knew it was a lie. She promoted the lie because she didn't want to take the fall. She should have had the Marines there protecting that embassy, and she didn't. Just to think about what those poor parents, loved ones, spouses, children, the family members, I can't even imagine the pain that they had to endure because of this. And then to know that it could have been prevented, and it wasn't. My heart goes out to them, and I don't know how they can deal with it on a daily basis, knowing that this woman is running for president of the United States of America is just inconceivable to me.
In Benghazi, the issue was Muslim terrorism again, and Hillary blamed it on a video. And in Orlando is a Muslim terrorist again, and she based it on the guy being a lunatic. Omar Mateen, Orlando murderer, the slaughterer, the guy that killed all those 50 innocent people in Orlando, he's no lone wolf. Do not let the media fool you. He's no lone wolf. Hillary Clinton in Benghazi proved to the world that she is not capable of doing the job of commander-in-chief. If she couldn't protect a little tiny outpost in Benghazi, she sure as hell can't protect all of America from Islamic terrorists. She's incapable of doing the small job, so she sure as hell can't do the big job. As a former Mustang officer in the Marine Corps with a lot of combat experience in Vietnam, I feel 100% comfortable with Donald Trump. The man understands the military better than any general that I know of today. He can protect America from Islamic terrorism. I have full faith in Donald Trump.
So doing the project that we're doing right now is so terribly important, and it all leans back to the insanity, and I think that's a proper word, of Hillary Clinton being hooked on power. God have mercy on us if she becomes president of the United States. The guy holding the camera and me will probably be thrown in jail or worse.
I find that this present administration is very, very lax in understanding the true goals of Islam. Or perhaps they're working in some sort of interesting relationship with them. Perhaps they think that they're using the Muslims to achieve their own goals. Perhaps this is the motivation behind Hillary Clinton, because we do know that millions and millions of dollars have come from Islamic nations to support Hillary Clinton in her foundation and help her to get elected. Now, this puts her in a real difficult position, because she really can't take a strong stand against Islam, against the terrorism, because she's being funded by them. That's the thing that's really scary about Hillary Clinton. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can help us by subscribing to our channel and sending it to your friends.